try so I don't do distractions. I'm coming back.
It's been a while. It's been like, what, 2 weeks it feels like? Oof. Hey.
11
But-
days.
Oh, 11 days, just about that, if that's the case. But he was just waiting to see how these semis was going. And our final four in the East, we got the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. In the West, we got the surprising Dallas Mavericks against the Golden State Warriors. Both teams that were in the finals lost last night in real bad ways.
Indeed.
In real bad ways. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to dive into it. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to recap each series. Going to start off in the East. As we just said, Boston. Well, actually, no, we're going to go from which ended first. So, Miami and Philly ended first. Harden turned back the clock in Game 5. But it just did not show up Game 6. First half, he was real aggressive, only attempted 2 shots in the second half. You think he was trying to... What do you think was wrong with Harden? Do you think he was trying to, avoid, hey, that's not my fault, If we lost, that's not on me. So... But
Man,
at the same time, it is on you. So what do you think Harden was thinking?
I think for James Harden situation, obviously people kept trying to say they thought they were getting a different James Harden. The Houston one, obviously people kept bringing up that version. But he's now, I think he's 33 right now, approaching probably 34 next year. And he's going to have a player option. I'm pretty sure he's going to opt in. I think I talked about this earlier because, why not? I think it's around 40 plus mil. So the real question that's been bringing up is James Harden a supermax player now? Now, there's not a lot of players like James Harden can facilitate for, but then again, see him do a lot of scoring like we've talked about this playoffs. Now, always people have brought out James Harden is not the best playoff performer. There have been games where he's came up short. I think in the elimination games, I think James Harden record is 3-9. So he's definitely struggled in the playoffs versus the regular season. I think Harden really trying to scapegoat Doc Rivers. And Daryl Morey has already said that Doc Rivers will be returning, which is a good idea, in my opinion. Let him get a full season with Harden, maybe to gel. And the other players with Maxey and all them, Embiid, and bring in maybe more depth coming into the next off season. And health, obviously, for Embiid will be a big factor. But for Harden's situation, I heard also he didn't really Rivers play calls. Now, that's true. Then there may be an issue going into next season with James Harden and Doc Rivers. I think if they start off slow, one of them will get in a lot of trouble. But honestly, I don't think James Harden will play as bad as he did in the playoffs during the regular season going into next year. I think I heard on actually a First Take that that's from Pat Bev, actually, one of his closest people he obviously talks to. They used to play on the Rockets together. He says that he thinks that Harden will come back in shape. He feels like he thinks Harden's going to be fired up because he definitely hears the media talking and fans talking, saying can't do this anymore, can't do that. But for me, I think next season interesting because obviously I will have hopefully Philly makes the playoffs barring injuries. So I think option. I don't think he'll get a super max yet. I think they'll wait to see what he does in his last season on under contract. This next season definitely will define if James Harden still has it or he's definitely taking a step back for me.
Yep. Yeah, I think James Harden is just declined. Like every superstar has a decline, but he's just gotten to his facilitating role. I think that's it. Ever since they changed the rules and how how they're more like strict on fouls and stuff like that, they're not getting away. Like people like him, Trey Young, all of them, they're not getting away with the fouls they used to get away with. Trey Young, I think he's adapting to it. Well, it didn't show in the first round, but I think he's like adapting to it. But James Harden is not adapting to it since the change. He's still trying to do ISO. That's not how the game works no more, bro. That's not how it works. If they put a defender like PJ, Jimmy, anybody, Giannis, put Giannis on him. Put a defender on him. That's not going to work. That's getting locked down. That's getting shut down. And as I watched, Tyrese Maxey was the second best player on the team by far. By far.
Yeah.
You could probably make a case that he was the best. Because Embiid wasn't playing his best either, but he's the MVP conversation. Shout out Jokic. Shout out Jokic for winning his second back-to-back, man. But yeah, in the MVP conversation, so he's the best person on the floor. But Tyrese Maxey was a long second. Well, maybe you could say Tobias was third. James Harden was probably the fourth best player on that squad.
I wouldn't go that far, but
Tobias.
I think Harden played better.
The Tobias
had that one road game, and they still lost. So,
nah, man, I just don't see it. I just don't see James Harden coming back to that form. Joel Embiid called out Harden. See how that works out next year. But and they already said Doc is coming back. They said Doc is coming back. So let's just see how that works next year. Maybe they turn into a more defensive team instead of worrying about, things offensively. But we're going to see next year. The next series that ended a little early was the Warriors. Now, Ja Morant, he went out. He went down, and he was out for the rest of the series. But the next game, Memphis came back, won by 50. I was like, whoa. Maybe they are better without Ja. Well, not better without Ja, but maybe, they can still make some noise without Ja. That's tough. But I was like, it's game 6 in Oracle, and the other team got Klay Thompson. Oh, never mind. It's over, man. It's over. Nah. And Klay Thompson, he went out, he dropped 30. But Dylan Brooks, game 6, Dylan Brooks was the only person that came to play. He was the only person that came to play. Jaren Jackson didn't play good. Nobody else played good. Man. I don't know. You sound like you got something against Dylan Brooks, man. What's going on?
I just don't like him. His form, just when he plays good, obviously you got to give him his credit. But throughout the series, I think at one point before game 6, he shot the last 2 games around like 5 for 27 or something very, very ridiculous bad from 3. I don't know what it is with him, but I mean, obviously he had a great game 6. He also brought up Klay Thompson, and I know personally from a game 6 Klay where it was born in Oklahoma City. I mean, I don't know what it is with Klay in game 6. He just made it a trend for himself. He has to show up.
Yeah, he don't have a choice.
I did say though, I'm pretty sure when the playoffs started, the winner Memphis Warriors series will go to the finals, but we'll talk about that soon. And you brought up Ja, he went down. The thing with Ja Morant, the team obviously gets better. It's because defensively, they can put bigger bodies out on the floor. You saw how they used Steven Adams more once Ja went
Right.
out.
I see
That really
that.
helped with their rebounding in Game 5 and Game 6. They didn't play well as a team. Obviously, they lost. But
Right.
I think it just helps them defensively, switching better. Obviously, Ja's not the best defender out there, but he can definitely. I still don't think they'll go the distance without Ja. Obviously, they lost, so they definitely need a star player. And for them going forward, I mean, Dylan Brooks did bring up. He kept saying, "Yeah, I mean, the Warriors, they're here now, but they're also getting old," which is true. So we'll see how long the Grizzlies can develop. It's all about development for them. They had a great season,
Yeah.
and moving forward, they definitely have a lot of confidence and cockiness to them. So it will definitely be interesting for the Grizzlies off season. See if they can get like another star player. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, he could be on the market. Bradley Beal, maybe. I don't know. He just got Porzingis. Who knows what he wants to do? There could be some stars. There's Dame, but I doubt he wouldn't want to play with Ja. Actually, Dame did say he wants to play with Giannis. That would be a player he would love to play with. So I don't know. Maybe down the road. I doubt next season, but we'll see with the Grizzlies. I feel like they need to move on from Adams. Probably, they definitely need to get more like not a traditional big, but a guy who can switch on pick and rolls better than Adams in the off season. So I think that would be their biggest help. But developing is really where they're at for me.
Right. Right. And I was thinking about this the other day, or actually yesterday. Last year, the Suns made that leap. This year, Memphis made that leap. Now, who do you think next year is going to take that next leap? Who do you think
In
going
the
to do
play that made the playoffs,
it? Probably will have to make the
or
playoffs because 2 years ago, Suns weren't a playoff team. Memphis wasn't a playoff team.
well, I think the obvious one would be the Pelicans. Got to see how Zion plays role with Brandon Ingram. He's definitely could be a star. I think he was an all-star this year. I'm pretty sure. So him paired with, I mean, they got 3 young rookies. Herb Jones seems like, I think he was one of the best defenders this season, defensive rating wise. They got Jose Alvarado. Obviously, everybody loves him. Grand Theft Auto. That's what they're calling him. And I forgot the other rookie, but he was a shooter. And obviously, adding McCollum, they turned into a playoff team. They passed the Lakers in the standings. And McCollum, since going to the Pelicans, averaged 25 and 8 assists as the point guard. So I think a lineup with him. Who their 2? I forgot their 2. Ingram, Zion, Jonas had a big playoffs. I think he had 25 rebounds game 1. So I think adding Herb Jones, obviously, and adding a little bit more depth, Devontae Graham, obviously off the bench. So I think with them, they just need Zion's health. I think they could definitely become a 6th seed next year. I think I know Jose Alvarado, he was on TNT saying like that he's ready for next season and whatnot, obviously, because they want to see everybody healthy and what they can do together. And I think Zion, I mean, last season Zion though, he averaged around 27 points on crazy efficiency, around 60% shooting from the field. I think that's going to be very good. I would like to, I mean, Jackson Hayes, he had a good postseason. He becomes more of a defender because Jonas is not really the best defender. He's more of just big body rebounding, putbacks. If he can become more of a defender down there, have more rim protection, I think the Pelicans will be set up for the future. Obviously, I think the biggest thing for the Pelicans is Zion's health. Getting him back to that Duke shape when he was at Duke. I think they could definitely make a run for the playoffs next year. That's my team,
Okay.
at least. What about you?
That's tough. Suns is a good choice. Suns a really good choice. Um, I think I gotta go East. I gotta go East.
Yeah, I know
Maybe
you're going.
if Charlotte can get a big man, if they can trade for a big man, let's just say they get Rudy Gobert. Let's say that. Let's say they make that happen. Charlotte can jump from whatever they were, what the 8th seed, maybe they could jump from the 8th to top.
They didn't
3.
make playoffs.
I think that they're in
Charlotte.
the play-in,
Yeah, they were playing. Yeah.
but so they can go from playoff team to top 3 or 4. I think Charlotte can do that.
Surprised you went Charlotte. I thought you would go Cleveland.
Cleveland, they started off good, so I think they'll like continue that. But they kind of cooled off. But I think
They
they're
have
gonna
Colin
get right.
Sexton.
Right, they had Colin Sexton. They probably stay around that 4-5 range still. So yeah, but yeah, I think Charlotte consistency too, bro. There's consistency for them. But I think if Charlotte can get a legit big, maybe like a top 7 big man, don't even gotta be nobody crazy. Maybe like a top 7 big man. They can make it. They could take a major leap for sure. But
Right.
next, give me the Bucks and Celtics. Bucks and Celtics, man.
Interesting.
I had
series.
a feeling that this was going to go to 7, and I had a feeling I wanted the Celtics to win. I had a feeling that they were going to win as well, and they came out on top. Shout out Grant Williams. Shout out Grant Williams. But the thing is that I noticed with the Celtics is your 2 stars, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. One of them is on, one is off. It's never the both of them on. It's never somebody's doing really good or really, one of them's either doing really good or really bad. It's never in between, in my opinion. So if they play bad, they need their role players to step up. And they did. They did. Celtics role players stepped up way better than the Bucks role players. Grayson Allen, Wesley Matthews. Where are y'all? Y'all my shooters. I need you. Giannis going out there dropping 40 every game, looking like, yo. But then I'm looking like Chris Middleton, bro. He over there on the sideline. That's tough. But then again, Chris Middleton, he would have made a difference, but I still think they would have lost. Drew Holiday, he wasn't playing too hot. He was starting off good, but he wasn't playing too hot though. Basically, defensive stops here and there. They'd probably be over in 6 if Drew Holiday don't make those stops in game 6. It's probably over then. But Boston did what they had to do. Boston did what they had to do in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. I think I disagree. I think the Bucks with Chris Middleton probably win. Obviously, they really lost this series, in my opinion, because of their half-court offense. The half-court offense was bad. Drew Holiday, you started to see that going throughout the series, he can't do it all. I mean, I know at first he was guarding Marcus Smart, and then the task got harder. Someone has to guard Jason Tatum, so they put him on him. Then you're asking him to score 20 plus on the other end. I mean, he just can't do it all. He tried his best though. I mean, he shot bad, efficient wise, but it was just really too much to handle. You brought up the role players for Bucks; they definitely disappeared this series. You brought up Grayson Allen. What did he have? 0 for 5 yesterday. On the series, he averaged 5 points. Wesley Matthews averaged 6. Bobby Portis didn't play that good yesterday. I mean, the whole team They shot 4 for 33 from three. It kind of reminded me of the Rockets against the Warriors back then, except for at least the Rockets were close. They only lost by like 9 or 10. The Celtics almost won by 30, won by 28. But Giannis, first player to have 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 50 assists in an NBA playoff series. Obviously, it was 7 games, but he definitely put up numbers. His efficiency did go down for a slasher, at least. I mean, he shot 46%. Usually, he shoots around 50+%. He did average 34 though, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, steal and a block a game. But he really couldn't do it all. He said in the press conference after the game, his legs, his body, and mental was just drained at that point. So honestly, I'm kind of glad they lost. I did not want to see him go out on a limb against the Heat. So I think the better team definitely won this series. I did have Bucks winning. I mean, they obviously had their chances. Game 6, Jason Tatum put up 46 in a remarkable game. And you brought up Grant Williams. He played really good. No one ever thought. I mean, he shot 18 threes, made 7. But props to the Celtics. I did think they would go this far if they could beat the Nets. And obviously, they did that easily. So it's going to be an interesting series. We're definitely going to talk about.
Yep. And this next one, this last one, we thought that beating was bad. Oh, this was a massacre. This was terrible. The Suns and Mavericks game 7. Now I had the Mavericks winning, but not like this. It was bad. They were up by like almost 50, almost 60 at one point. It was like that's not even an exaggeration. I wish I was exaggerating. That's crazy. The first quarter, Dallas had 27 points. Phoenix had 27 points and a half. You know who else had 27 points at half? Luka by himself. That's crazy. Luka by himself had the same amount of points as the entire Suns team. It's just like, but real quick, let's go over the Suns. Let's go over the Suns. I think in the first couple of minutes, Devin Booker and Chris Paul combined for like 0 for 7 in the first couple of minutes. But this is what it was at the end of the game. Devin Booker, 3 for 14, 21%. 0 for 4 from 3. Shout out free throws, man. But yeah, ended up with 11 points with a plus minus of minus 41. Minus 41. Chris Paul, 4 for 8. I need you to be aggressive, though. It's game 7. Come on, bro. And you end with 10 points with a plus minus of minus 39. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There were 7 people on the Suns with a plus minus of negative over 10 points. Or over 10. That's real bad. Of double digits. That's real bad. And then we're looking over at the Suns. You had 2 people drop 30. Jalen Brunson had 24. You had 3 people in double figures. That's that. Everybody else, the next highest scorer was 6 points. I mean, but if you have 3 people or 2 people dropping 30 and 1 person dropping 25, that's all you need. That's tough.
Yeah.
Suns did get a little cocky. They did get a little cocky after game 5. After that, you heard what Luka said. You know what he said. He said everybody want to start talking tough when they up. Ever since then, they never look back. Ever since then, they never look back, man. There's a meme of Luka smiling at Devin Booker going around, man. Shout out, and mind you, he's doing this without a real second option. He's doing this without a real second option. That's crazy. And you could say, and not even probably a real big man.
I got a question then. Does this run remind you of LeBron's 07 run? If he beats the Warriors.
He beats the Warriors.
Now, Bron, he beat the Pistons, who were in the finals 2 years ago. Obviously, they didn't have Ben Wallace anymore. They still had Tayshaun Prince, Chauncey Billups, Richard Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace. I mean, that was a very good Pistons team. Beat them in the conference. Beat Gilbert Arenas Wizards. I think Gilbert was averaging around 28 that series and in the season. So LeBron has they beat a lot of good teams that run. And then obviously also the Spurs in the finals with Tim Duncan, Parker, Ginobili.
If Luka beats the Warriors and goes to the finals with this team, this Luka run is better than LeBron's 2007 run. This Luka run is better than 07 in LeBron's 07 run. The Jazz, but Luka was by himself. He did that by himself. And then you go play the number one seed in the West. Everybody thought he was gonna get smacked. You 1-7. You go and play Steph, Clay, and all them. Draymond and all them. You beat them. If he gets to the finals, all he has to do is win a game. LeBron didn't win a game. All you gotta do is go and win a game. If you lose, you lost, but you won a game. So, but I think this run would be better than LeBron's 07 run for sure. For sure.
That's close for me. I don't know. I mean, I think the talent of beating the Warriors would overshadow like all the teams Bron beat. I mean, like I brought up, the Wizards, they swept the Wizards first round.
Right.
You brought up the Jazz, Wizards Jazz. I mean, one had Gilbert Arenas, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, both elite scorers. So I mean, it's all right. I mean, but LeBron did sweep them. So I got to give that series to Bron over Luka. He did average in that series. Bron did average 25, 7 and almost 9 assists, shooting 42%, 30% from 3. And he wasn't even a shooter yet, so shooting a lot of mid ranges of Duncan. So going forward, they lost to. They beat the Nets. They had Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson, Vince Carter. Okay team. I think obviously the Phoenix Suns today are better than them, so I give that to Luka. So then I brought up, the Pistons, bad boy. Well, not bad boy Pistons, but their own version. Obviously without Ben Wallace anymore, but definitely very formidable team who just won the finals obviously 2 years ago. So, but I still think the Warriors now would be a better victory than Richard Hamilton, Billups, Tayshaun Prince, and Rasheed Wallace. So I can see Luka definitely if he wins against the Warriors, I think the run will be better. Similar in numbers, Luka has way more points. He's averaging around 32 this playoffs. LeBron averaged around 26 points. Assists and rebound totals, LeBron has assists over him, but Luka and Bron average around 9 rebounds these playoffs. So they definitely have similar numbers. Obviously, going forward, whose run's going to be remembered more? I think. Like you brought up, if Luka does go to the finals and get a game, I think his run will be remembered more. We still gotta wait to see if he actually does it. And for me, I just want to talk about where do you go now, which are the Suns. Like Chris Paul, ever since turning 37, averaged 9 points, almost 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and 4 turnovers. Obviously, he caught dead legs. Jason Kidd, the coach of the Mavericks, did bring up that they were trying to attack Chris Paul, make him tired even more. And it obviously worked. He used up all of his energy. Obviously, with Booker being gone in the first round, he had to muster a lot of energy to beat the Pelicans. So I think a lot of it caught up to him, age and whatnot, getting older. And they benched DeAndre Ayton. I heard it was more internal, like he didn't want to go back in. That's going to definitely cost him his money probably this offseason.
Yeah, he's probably out of there.
Phoenix. So, but I know a team going to overpay him, cough OKC. So it don't even, I don't know if he'll leave necessarily, but I mean, I wouldn't be super surprised if he did move on. Then for Booker, I mean, this hurts your legacy a lot. I mean, you brought up, they were talking a lot of trash. I mean, people were definitely in the conversation saying you were top 10, top 5 MVP run, 64 wins, the best player on the team. You go out there, shoot 0 for 7 at halftime, 2 points, and then finish the game 3 for 14, 11 points. It's just not a good look, Booker. It's just not. You're probably falling out. You're definitely probably, for my top 10, I don't know if you're in. We're going to do that video after the playoffs.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard for his legacy to go up.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, man. Luka sunned all them. But Warriors, I don't know how much longer they not going to have Gary Payton.
He said it's doubtful, I'm pretty sure. For the Suns.
I don't know. He's a big need for them. He's a big need for them. And if the Warriors are giving up 50 without Ja, Luka better than Ja. And Luka gonna find his teammates.
Well, Ja facilitated well this playoffs.
Ja, he can find his teammates, but he's not Luka.
Not a lot of people are.
Exactly. So this is gonna be a whole different game, and that brings us to this. To wrap it up, who wins? How many games? Why? Let's start off with the West since we're on it. So you can go ahead.
Me? Am I going?
Yeah.
First. Man, you know how much I love Luka. Oh man. Steve Kerr's coaching. Oracle got home and court advantage. It's hard playing in Oracle. It's hard winning.
Yep.
But if it is anybody who could, it would be baby unathletic Braun, European Braun. Luka has a shot at greatness here. Not going against a really formidable defense. I mean, I imagine the Warriors would go small and big, mostly small. You run against Dwight Powell, not a big center. And Maxi Kleber, he likes shooting threes a lot. So they can really space the court out on the Warriors. And I think Jason Kidd should really look at film of how when the Cavs played the Warriors, how they would get the switch on Curry. Well, Luka would get the switch. Well, Braun, in that sense, would get the switch on Curry and just attack the paint. I think they should try a lot of that. Get Curry in foul trouble. Now, the Warriors bench, obviously, is a little bit more different than back then. They do got an elite scorer off the bench, Jordan Poole. And they got Damon Lee. They got shooters. Iggy, I don't know if he's going to be playing a lot. But if he does show up, that's a plus for them. Got Jonathan Kuminga, another good defender off the bench. Now, Kevon Looney, I don't know how much minutes he's going to get either. like I said, Dwight Powell. I mean, they're kind of undersized team, the Mavs. So I don't think Looney's going to see the most amount of minutes. I think for me, game one's going to be interesting. I don't know who's guarding Luka. I'm pretty sure it'll be Wiggins most of the time. We'll probably see a little bit of Draymond here and there, Klay Thompson here and there, Kuminga if he gets minutes. But I don't think that they'll be any better than what Jay Crowder and Bridges could do with him. And they couldn't do nothing with him.
They couldn't do nothing.
So I can see this going to 7. But still rolling with Steph Curry and the Warriors. I think this is going to be hard winning in Oracle for the Mavs. They're shooting. If they continue to shoot how they did last game, Klay, he seems like he's getting his rhythm back. His legs under him. Curry, you know how good he is. It's really going to come down to, can any role players keep stepping up on the Mavs? I think this series is going to be a little bit more high scoring, obviously, than the East. But
100%.
I see Warriors in 7. I think Luka can take them to distance, though. Luka and the Mavs. Just because, like, it's going to be, like, one of the easiest wing defenders. Like, they're not going against elite wing defenders for Luka. So I think he'll definitely get his. But
Right.
I don't know if they can keep up with that Warriors high-powered offense. So I think Warriors in 7.
So in the regular season, the Mavericks are 3-1 against the Warriors, but it's the regular season. It's the playoffs, playoff atmosphere, playoff DNA, and Steph, Klay, and Draymond. They all know what's up. Iggy, he can be a vocal leader. All of them have been to the finals multiple times. So playoff experience is going to show is going to show in this series. But if the Mavericks can take 1 or 2 in Oracle, then we can have something to talk about. Maybe the Mavs can steal. But in reality, I think Warriors win in 6. Warriors in 6. But like I said, if they can steal, because Warriors would be home, right? Game 1 and 2.
They got a home court right now. Yeah.
So if they can steal 1, game either 1 or 2, and then go back home and win, and then anything can happen. But Mavericks, your role players got to be on what they was last year. It's the Suns. Got to be on that. Got to be on that type of time. Yeah, give me Warriors in 6. And then talking about the East, got the Eastern Conference Final rematch from 2 years ago. My Miami Heat against the Boston Celtics, man. 2 defensive juggernauts of teams. Oh man, this is gonna be real defensive. So I think I'll go first, since I'm the Heat fan here. I think I'll go first. I think matchups matter. Like I said before, either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, one of them is gonna go off, not both of them. And it matters with role players. But we're deeper. We got more depth than the Celtics. So with like the thing that worked for them, or the thing that worked with the Celtics, when Giannis wasn't on the court, or he was on the court, he was scoring. But they have all these people that can score away from Giannis and away from Drew, because nobody else could defend like that. With Miami, 1 through 5 can all defend. People coming off the bench, Oladipo, Gabe Vincent, they can all defend. So all game long is going to be defense, annoying the Celtics. So, but I do think they get a couple games. I think they get a couple games. But as far as matchups, and if Jimmy Butler can keep playing, I think Jimmy top 3 right now. as far as playing and people who are in the playoffs right now still. Give me Luka, give me Jimmy, give me Tatum. Top 3 right now in the playoffs. But if Jimmy can still play like that, if Bam can step up, if Kyle Lowry can come back and actually lock in, Heat in 6. Give me Heat in 6.
Wow. I've been trying to sleep on this for a while. Like you brought up, defensively is gonna be a dogfight. He averaged 107 points. Celtics averaged around 109 points per game in these playoffs, at least.
Yeah.
Heat do shoot better, more efficiently from the field, but the Heat have been struggling from 3, and we just seen the Celtics put on a barrage of 3s. This is gonna be tough. Celtics also have one of the best defensive ratings this postseason. I think this series will come down to the last minutes of who stars can really push through. The role players, honestly, to me, are almost evenly matched. If anything, the Celtics probably had the better role players. The status of Lowry is uncertain. I don't know what's up with him. So Jimmy Butler will be taking on a lot of load this series. I don't know. I'm pretty sure PJ would be on Tatum, and Jimmy would probably be on Brown for a little bit, vice versa. Obviously, there'll be a lot of switches during the games, but I really need to see how the refs call it too. See if they. I think it's gonna be a physical battle though.
Oh yeah.
But.
Oh yeah.
I got Boston winning. This. I think just their defensive prowess this season and how physical they really can get down. I know the Heat, they got dogs too, Butler, Bam, PJ. I don't think the role players will be comfortable. I don't think Strus will be comfortable. I don't think Gabe Vincent will be comfortable this series. Hero, he may get one good game out of him. Duncan obviously doesn't get minutes like that. Deadman is really I think a lot of this is gonna come down on Jimmy Butler's shoulders and Bam. And with Robert Williams getting healthy, Al Horford's playing really good now. I don't see how Miami can thrust a lot of 4 wins on that Celtics defense. So I'm going Celtics. Celtics in 6. All they need is one. All they need is one in Miami. I think they win both games at home.
We beat teams by a lot in Miami.
Yeah, they lose game 3 and 4. Then game 5 they win. Game 6 they win. Yeah, wait, no, Miami's home. Oh,
yeah, we're home 1 and 2.
Miami's home. So I think y'all win game 1. Actually, no, I think y'all lose game 1. Y'all win game 2. They win both in Boston 3-1. Y'all win game 5. They go back to Boston, and that's my prediction.
Well, I mean, okay, it's predictions. So we gonna come back before game 3, before the game 3s, and we're gonna dive into what we see. But hey, until then, it's your boys Juice and Lew. And we out of here. Peace.
Peace.